Good morning. It is 6:53 a.m. on Wednesday, March 9th, 2022. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. Still a little loopy this morning. Not quite ready to be brain awake yet, but I'm trying to go into the office today, so I have to get a move on to do the commute and all. So, doing what I need to do, doing the things, do what you gotta do, say what you want to say. The hat is like a shark's fin. Um, I think I'm combining several different songs there. The last one, of course, is LL Cool J's song from Deep Blue Sea, the movie, which is great. And of course, no one would even try to prove me wrong because it's so self evident that that movie is great. Now I just want to think about Deep Blue Sea all day. Probably I will be able to resist. But yeah, so we had a fun session of Dungeons and Dragons last night, and it is a session that, without giving too much of a peek behind the curtain of exactly all the thought processes involved, it is a session that is very different than the one that we would have had last week if we hadn't needed to postpone because people weren't available. And, it's just, you sometimes you have a new idea that you like even more. And so I'm excited to have them proceed in the direction that campaign is going. Continues to be a fun game to play with my friends. Gosh, yeah, sorry, my brain is still just spinning up this morning. I I don't know. It just I feel like it's boring to keep talking over and over about Elden Ring, but here's the thing, I want to be clear. Like, the reason I'm talking about it so much is because it really feels like it's that good. It is that infectious to my thoughts in the sense of when I'm not playing it, all I want to do is play it more. um, I mean, obviously, no game is for everybody, but I guess what I'm just saying is that, like, this one seems really good to me, and the fact that it is something that I'm playing at the same time that all of the other people who are into those sorts of games are playing it is the first time I've done that, and that's kind of exciting, being part of like this discovery process and finding all the weird things there are in there. Uh, it's pretty nice. I mean, I'm having a good time with that, and especially feeling good about it because I discovered a relatively large area that I probably could have been exploring sooner, and so I am, generally speaking, perhaps a bit over leveled for the area that I'm in right now, but that's fun because I feel strong and like, hey, yeah, I'm doing a good job. Of course, that doesn't mean that you can't, that you can just run around and not be careful because, you know, even, uh, even in some of those areas, if you're not paying attention for a second, you let an enemy get a few too many hits in on you and you can still get killed for sure. And I just, yeah, that still happens. But, I guess what maybe I can spin that into is the shared experience part of it is definitely part of what I'm enjoying. Like, I think it's a good game. I would enjoy it at any time, but in particular, I think it's meaningful that part of what it is right now is it's a little bit like when you want to go see a movie when it's the movie everyone's talking about, or watch a TV show when it's the one everyone's talking about, like the water cooler talk about it, so to speak, has been a big part of what keeps me thinking about it. beyond the time that I'm holding the controller in my hands, right? Because people are talking about it, people are investigating mysteries, and someone is saying, "Hey, what's the deal with this thing?" And then I say, "Oh, I saw that thing. I don't know what the deal is either, but we can share our feelings about how it's a weird thing, right?" And then someone else will chime in and say, like, "Oh, actually, do you want a hint about that?" And we'll say, gosh, yes, give us a hint." And that part of the experience enhances the part where you're actually playing the game, but is also what makes it difficult to entirely set the game aside and think about something else. Anyway, I gotta finish getting ready for work, so I'm gonna talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.